Welcome to the RDR Celebrity Show. My name is Robbie Du Rand. In this show, we are covering local celebrities who are doing fantastically in Zimbabwe and nationally, and then also looking at international, South Africa and across the globe, chatting to celebrities every week here on the RDR Celebrity Show, powered by Solution Center. A reminder that you can subscribe on YouTube. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram, like and share on Facebook, the RDR Show. So today, we're introducing a man that's been in broadcasting for 33 years. Let that sink in, 33 years. And one of Zimbabwe's greatest TV and radio personalities, Mr. Marc Pozzo. Hello, Marc.
Hey, Robbie.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, Marc, let's talk about your career. Getting into broadcasting, 1991. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so Robbie, I've always had a passion for horse racing, and as a schoolboy, I would bunk out of going to watch sport on a Saturday afternoon to go to Borrowdale Park, and I always had a passion for commentating. And one day I said to a friend of mine, I said, I think I can do what those guys are doing upstairs. So he said, well, go for it. So I plucked up the courage, wandered upstairs to this commentary box where there were 6 of the finest Zimbabwe race commentators, including the late Peter Lovemore. And I knocked on the door and I said, hi guys, I think I could do what you're doing. And they said, oh, really? So I said, yep. So they said, okay, well, let's see what you've got. So they put me in a booth, and for a couple of months, I every Saturday did my own commentary into a tape recorder, and Peter Lovemore would take the cassette home with him. I think he'd have a few beers, get in his car and drive home and listen to my commentary. And then he would give me a call at home and run through it and give me pointers, where to improve, etc. And I started doing that. And one day I arrived at the racecourse to do my normal little setup on my own and my practice. And they said, we think you're ready. So I said, great. So okay, when do I start? They said, today. I was a little bit taken aback. They said, you're calling the first race in an hour's time. It's a 19-horse field over 1,400 meters. And I was, yeah, you can imagine, I started sweating. But I thought, you know what, I've got to do this. And I did it. And basically the rest was history, and I got a regular slot at Borrowdale and at Ascot in Bulawayo, and that's where it sort of started. And I did that for about 6 or 7 months, and the Mashonaland Turf Club came to me and said, listen, every evening we have to do the racing results at ZBC, the off-course racing results. Would you be interested in doing it? So I said, sure. So I would go down to ZBC every evening and do the racing results on Radio 1. And one day I was walking down the corridor and I bumped into Simon Parkinson. And him and I got chatting, and he said, oh, I've been listening to you a bit. So I said, oh, really? That's nice to know, thank you. And he said, do you know about other sport? I said, yeah, I think I'm pretty au fait with most sports. So he said, well, would you be interested in doing some stuff on Radio 3 with me? And I was, wow. And basically that's where Parky and Poz was born. And we had the breakfast show Monday through to Friday. And we then started a sports show in the evening on Radio 3 from 5 until 5:32, which was called Live at 5. Yeah, and that was basically the beginning.
Wow. It's so important to get those doors open for you. I think and also the mentoring of that as well. I think that's so key. ZBC, you were there for quite a while. Obviously news, looking at all the different sports as well. And then you went into ZiFm. Now tell us a little bit about what the transformation into ZiFm from the start of inception of ZiFm.
Okay, so yeah, I left ZBC and took a bit of a sabbatical because due to reasons at ZBC, they didn't require my services anymore. I carried on doing a little bit of freelance work for a few news network channels around the world. And Super Monday 10, who I worked with at ZBC at the time, had applied for a radio license. And out of the blue, I got a call one day from him, and he said, what are you doing? So I said, well, I'm at work. So he said, do you want a gig? So I said, where? So he says, well, I've got a radio license. And yeah, I basically joined ZiFM, went on air, And I joined 3 days later. I had already signed up, but they were waiting for a transition to broadcast. So I was on holiday in Mozambique, so I had to cut short my holiday to get back. So I missed the first 3 days of actual broadcast of what was quite an epic day, because it was the first time we had independent radio in this country. And yeah, I've been at ZiFm for 11 years.
Well, I've got to thank you as well. You opened the doors there for me as well. Every Saturday morning, 10 till 2. Your show as well, it's grown exponentially. And I mean, you on the sport, and obviously the contributions of that breakfast show is fantastic.
Yeah, you know, I've worked with some great personalities, and ZBC in particular, I worked with some really, really good people, but ZiFm has produced some real good talent. And, you know, what we've got there now, the likes of Miss Red, who I worked with from the beginning on breakfast before she moved across to the drive time show, TK, Simba, who I think is a phenomenal broadcaster now. And, you know, I think we've got quite a nice little team.
Absolutely.
Simba, myself, and Noxie. I think we work well together, and long may it continue.
Well, 33 years in the business. I don't think it's going to end anytime soon, hopefully, because Zimbabwe needs you. The nation needs you as well. Marc, just to finish off, any advice you can give to youngsters that are coming through, want to be a radio presenter, want to be on TV? What advice can you give them?
I would say believe in your ambition as to what you want to do. I think if you want to go into broadcasting, you need to have a vision. Do you want to be a sports presenter? Do you want to be a newscaster? And focus on that. Sadly, there's not a lot of schooling. I was self-taught. And I think if you're lucky enough to get a breakthrough with somebody, take it with both hands and embrace it, and run with it and do what you can, because I can tell you it will only get better.
Absolutely.
And there's so much talent out there, I've got to tell you.
Absolutely. So if you're a youngster and you're listening to that, go for your dreams. Make sure that you go for it. Don't give up. Marc, I've just got to say thank you. It's been an honor. This is the first, the RDR Celebrity Show that we've launched in Zimbabwe, which is incredible. You're the first person to come on, and I've just got to say thank you. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, Robbie.
Wish you all the best. And that brings us to the end of the RDR Show. Reminder, please subscribe on YouTube. Make sure that you like and share on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Next week, we've got a big one coming. We'll chat to you later.
The RDR Celebrity Show with Robbie Du Rand, proudly powered by Solution Center.